Hey everyone, in this video we are going to talk about the basics of how to use PyCharm. In the previous video I talked about installation of Python on PyCharm. If you need any help installing Python on PyCharm, click on the link displayed using the I button. It will take you to the PyCharm installation video. So I have been using PyCharm in the Python tutorials and some of you asked about how to use PyCharm, so created this video where I'll be talking about the basics of PyCharm and how to create a new project, how to set up the dependencies, how to use different Python versions, and how to use virtual environment, and everything is covered in this video. Once you open PyCharm, if you are opening the PyCharm for the first time, you will see a window like this. You can just go ahead and create a new project, or you can open an existing project as well. For now, I'll be creating a new project and it will ask you for the project name. So here on the left, you need to select pure Python and give a name to your project. I'll name it Python project 1, and here you can mention the location of this project as well. In my case, it's located in the PyCharm projects. You can click on this folder button here and change it to a different folder as well. And here you have an option to select this create git repository and create main.py welcome script. So we don't need these two things. If you select on create git repository, it will initiate an empty git repository, so that is not required for us. This create a main.py, we will be creating a Python file for ourselves, so we don't need this main.py as well. So for the sake of understanding, I'll just select this and see what it will do. And we need to select a Python interpreter. So here I am using Python 3.12.8. But if you have multiple versions of Python installed in your laptop, you can go ahead and select the version that you wanted to use. So in my case, this is going to be the default version, which is 3.12.8. Click on create and you see the new Python project is created. And as we have selected this main.py, it has created a main.py file with some code inside it. If you don't select the create main.py, so it will not have any of this file, and it will just look like this empty project. So it has also created a virtual environment. So for this project, if you need any of the external libraries or any of the other packages, they will be installed in your virtual environment and they will be available for your project. This is where the complete tree or the folder structure of your project will be present. You can right click on this project and create a new file. So if you want to create some Python file, you can say some Python file 1.py. So you need to provide this .py extension. Let's say that you are not providing this .py extension, it will be created as a text file, and anything you type here will not be recognized as a Python code. So for you to write some Python code, you need to create a file that has .py extension. So now if you write anything here, it will be recognized as a Python code and you will see some code suggestions as well. So this is the one line of code that we have written, and basically this is how you create a file, and this is going to be your editor block where you will write your code. You can write any number of lines, you can write any big projects and anything in this editor block. So once you have written your code, you can run this by right clicking on the project and click on run valid Python file. So once you click on this run valid Python file, it will create a run configuration for you, and you can see that run configuration here. Currently it's showing as main, but we don't have any main file here because we deleted the main file that we created already, and this configuration is for that file. You can create a new configuration for this file using the edit configuration here by providing the path to your Python file. So instead of main here, you need to type valid Python file.py, and this is one way to create this configuration, and you can apply and click OK. So let me do this. So once you do this, you will be able to see the name of the file here, and you can just click on the run here and it will execute your code. There is another way to add the configuration. So you can right click on the file and just say run valid Python file, even though the configuration is not present here. When you do this run valid Python file, it will create a configuration for you. And the other option is you can just go here and you can select the current file. If you select the current file, it will create a valid Python file configuration for you as well. So these are the multiple ways that you can create configuration for running your Python code. And inside this project, other than Python file, you can create any kind of file. Let's say that I want to create a file that contains readme data. So I'll create just a text file and I will say that this project is about so on. So you can write any readme or any data about the project or anything here, and this is completely allowed. So let's say that you want to create one more file, and the name of this file is valid Python file 2. Let's say that you want to look at what is there present in the Python file 1 and then write here parallelly. So you can just click on this, drag and drop it on the right. It will split this file here so that you will see the file 1 and file 2 parallelly at the same time. So you can just have a look at here and you can write something here. So this is how you can manage two files at the same time side by side in the editor. And basically in real world scenarios, we will not be just having the files, we will have multiple directories inside this main project. Let's say that I have directory 1 and some of my Python files or the coding files will go inside the directory 1. So you can just click on the file, drag and drop on the directory name. So it will ask you for refactoring and it will go inside this directory. The same way you can use this file also inside this directory and click on refactor. So these files are now moved inside this directory, and you can have any number of directories in your project. You can have directory 1, directory 2. So this is basically going to be the project structure. And you can also have subdirectories. So inside directory 1, let's say that I want to create some directory dot common directory, so that is also possible. And for adding a new file inside the directory, you need to click on the directory where you want to add the file and create a new file there. So let me call it common.py. So this is the file which is present inside the common folder inside directory 1 inside our project. Now, if you remember, the first thing we did when we are creating this project is that we selected the Python interpreter, and the Python interpreter is Python 3.12. On the right bottom, if you click here, you should be able to see the Python interpreter that we are currently using. You can click on this tab and you can add a new interpreter, or you can change the interpreter, or you can go to any of these interpreter settings. If you click on this interpreter settings, it will redirect you to this settings window and it will open this Python interpreter tab. There is one more way to go here. You can click on this PyCharm name and click on these settings. So once you go inside settings, it will open any of these tabs, and there you need to find the project, and under the project you need to click on this Python interpreter. Once you are inside, you should be able to change this Python interpreter here. So it says we have Python 3.12, and we can go for show all and it will show you other interpreters available. So you can also add new interpreters if you have them on your local or anywhere. So I have other interpreters like Python 3.9 and Python 3.10, 3.11. So I can select any of these interpreters and create a new virtual environment, or use an existing virtual environment if I have that virtual environment present somewhere else. So basically this is how we change the Python interpreter. And some cases we need to change the Python interpreters. You might be having some old projects which might be running on the old versions of Python, and you might be working on new projects currently and you will have the new version of Python installed in your laptop. So in those cases you might be switching between the interpreters, or when you install different projects you might be working with different Python interpreters. This is where we command change the Python interpreters. If you look at here, we have something called packages. So packages are the external modules that are present in your current Python virtual environment setup. So you have selected this interpreter and you will have virtual environment.venv folder. So inside that venv, and you already have this pip package. So pip by default comes with Python installation. You need not manually install anything for pip. But let's say that you want to import or use some external libraries for your project. So this is where you can come and add some new modules. Let's say that I want to add pandas module. I can come here, select pandas and click on install package. Or before that, you can also specify the version of pandas that you wanted to use. So I'm not going to install this route. So there is another simple way to install these packages in PyCharm. So I'll just close and click cancel. You can just open the terminal from the left bottom here, and from the terminal you can just run pip install pandas. So you can run pip install pandas, but if you get any error accessing the pip, you can type pip3 install pandas. You might run pip install or pip3 install the library that you wanted to install. So let me try to write some code without installing this library and see what happens. Let's say that this is my code. In this code, I am using this pandas library and I'm using some other libraries called datetime, time delta. And for using this datetime and time delta, these are the libraries that come by default with the Python standard libraries, meaning we need not install these libraries separately. They are part of your Python package itself. But the pandas library is not part of Python package. That's why we needed to install this package manually. But if we run this code is common.py. I'll just select the current file and run. It says that module not found error, no module named pandas, meaning this module pandas is not present. Now let's try to install the pandas module and run the same code. And this is going to be one of the common error that you will be facing when you are using this PyCharm or running any project in your PyCharm IDE. And just notice that we are using this virtual environment for this project. So we need to install this library in this virtual environment. So when you open this terminal, it will directly by default open this virtual environment. When you do any install here inside this project, it will be installed in this virtual environment. So I'll just run pip3 install pandas. So it has started installing pandas, and you can see that it's installing the library. So depending on the size of library, it might take few seconds or few minutes. Now we see that it's also installing something called NumPy, and it's installing TZ data, it's installing PyTZ, it's installing Python data. So it's installing other packages along with pandas is because this pandas module in turn need the other packages. So those libraries will also get installed to support the pandas installation in our laptop. Now the package is installed. It's showing all the packages that are installed. So if we go back to settings and just check the Python interpreter, you can see all the packages that are installed. So now if we try to run this current file, you see that it's running, and you see that the output is printed. Just ignore what it is printing, what is the code about and everything. I'm just trying to explain the use of modules and how do we add external modules in PyCharm. The other important thing to notice here is about the appearance of this PyCharm IDE or the PyCharm window that you are seeing. For changing the appearance and settings, you can just go to settings and click on appearance and behavior. And if you go inside appearance, you'll have all the theme dark or light. If you select light, it will become light, or if you select dark, it will be in the dark mode. And there are other options as well. You can try to explore all the other options. I'll just go with the dark mode because I feel comfortable using the dark mode. And you have an option to use the custom font. These are the default fonts that came with PyCharm. So you can use your custom font and use the size to, let's say, 22. So this size under the appearance is for the PyCharm window, not for the editor here. And when you make changes in this custom font, it will change the appearance of this PyCharm and it will not change anything. See, it has increased the size of everything, but the editor size remains same. And for changing the size of the content in the editor, we need to go to some other place. Let me show that as well. Before that, I'll just roll it back to 13, and I'll just remove this use custom filter and apply this. So it came back to normal, and I click on OK. So this is the default window. And if you want to make any changes, you just need to go to PyCharm settings, and then you need to go to this editor settings on the left, and under editor you can go to font. So if you click on font, it will show you the default font that it is using. You can change the font so that it will appear in a different way. I'll just go with the default one, and let me say I want to increase this size by some number. Let me make it 16. If I apply, you see that the size of this code is increased. So that's where we go and change the size of the font in the JetBrains IDE. I'll just make it some default number, and there are a lot of other settings as well. One of the important one is the Keymap. So Keymap is basically the shortcuts that we use. You can just define your custom keys, or you can make changes to these existing ones. You can add a mouse shortcut, you can remove this shortcut. This is the place basically where we add shortcuts or remove shortcuts or manage shortcuts in PyCharm. And now the next important thing is finding something and replacing something in the files. Let's say that you have this common file, and inside this common file I want to find something called price. You can just use command F or control F in Windows, and you can type for whatever you are looking. So I'm searching for data. It shows wherever this data is there in this code, and you can also replace this with something else. You just need to use command R or control R. It will provide you with two search bars. So the first search bar is going to be the keyword that you want to find, let's say data, and if you want to replace it with something else, you can just replace it. If you just try to add something and click on replace, it will replace. So this is how we find and replace any of the text or any of the code place in the file. So let's say that you want to find something in this entire project. So you have directory 1, your directory 1 has multiple files inside it, but you want to find something in this directory 1. You can just use command shift and F for that. So when you do command shift plus F, it will open up a window and you can search for something there, and it will point you all the files where this search keyword is present. Let's say that I am searching for keyword. So it for is present in this common.py, and let's say if I am searching for print keyword, so print is present in this valid Python file, it's present in the common file, and it's present in different lines in the valid Python file. It will show you all the occurrences of this statement in the file. So instead of using this command F, you can just right click on the directory and you can go find in files as well. It will do the same thing. And for replacing in multiple files, you can just use command shift R. So command R is for replacing in a single file and command shift R is for replacing in multiple files. So you can find print and you can replace with pprint. So we can just select if you want to replace this particular line or if you want to replace everything by using this option here. So currently I'm not doing anything. And let's say that you have your terminal window here. If you want to move your terminal window to the right, you can just drag this terminal window and put it on the right, so your terminal window will appear on the right. Your code block will be on the left and terminal window on the right, so you will see anything here. And now if you run your code, let's say that I am running this current file, you will see your output here, but still your terminal is on the right. So if you want this run result to be on the right, you can just click on it and move to the right, so it will also appear on the right. So generally I prefer having it at the bottom, so it is very clean and easy to read as well. Till now we have created a new project and did some work on it, but what if you want to open an existing project? You can just click on this file and click on recent project. So if you have opened any project recently, it will appear in the recent projects here. Let's say that if you want to open a new project that you have already cloned from Git or copied from somewhere else, you can click on this open here and select the project that you are looking to open. So I'm just opening this Python course. So it will provide you an option to open in the new window or this window. If you select this window, it will close the existing project and open this new project. And if you select this new window, it will open in a new window, and you can just shift between the project by just selecting here. You can open Python project 1 here, Python course here. And now there is one more thing with this Python. Let's say that you want to write some Python code, and let's say you are at this line and you wanted to do something on this content. So content dot or something, and if you don't know what this will print or what this will result, so if you want to test just one line of the code, you can just click on this Python console on the left of this PyCharm, which is one of the very beautiful features, and you can run any of your Python code here and see what will be the output. So this will basically help you to run few lines of the code, check what the result is going to be. Let's say that here you want to print, so I am Dinesh, and you cannot execute this complete project, right? If you just want to check one line of code and what it will result, you can just run it here and it will show what it's going to print. So in real life use cases, when you're working on big project, you might not be able to run this entire project, and you might wanted to see what a single line of code runs. Like let's say that I want to import this particular library, I can import, and I wanted to see what this datetime dot now gets printed. So if I run here, it says that it's printing the datetime 2024 12:31 followed by some time here. So this is the use of this Python console here, which comes very handy, and I love this. And earlier we have seen this Python packages by going into settings. So instead of that, you can directly click on the left here and click on this layered button, which shows the Python packages that are already installed. So you can see that it's showing this PyPy, which is the default one. It's showing the installed ones, which is NumPy, Pandas, pip, Python, Daytutil, and all those stuff. And if you want to connect your project to Git and do some Git operations like Git push, Git pull, and other stuff, you can just click on this version control here. And if you have created a Git repository or if you have cloned this project from GitHub, everything will appear here. From here, you can do all the Git commits, Git push, Git pull, and anything that you want to play with the Git inside the PyCharm window itself. I will leave it there for this video. Hope you all got the basics to use PyCharm covered. If you want me to cover something else which is not in this video, feel free to comment below. Thank you.